Coach, is it nice to actually start spring football in the spring on time? I mean, you guys have back to normal a little bit. I know that you've probably been more normal in the off season, but after the cluster of last year, just how nice is it to get this when you're supposed to?
Big Bear, you know what's nice? Hearing your voice in this room again. It means we're getting back to practice. Well, it's nice to get to the spring ball. Obviously, it's been a challenging year, challenging for our young players. But I got a lot of respect for them, the stuff that they've gone through to get to this point. Was very impressed with Coach Bradshaw and the offseason program in the winter. I think there's a high level of buy-in into his program and a commitment to each other between the players, which is, I think, incredibly important.
You started a freshman last year. You brought in a senior transfer this year. How's that battle looking right now?
We'll see tomorrow. We got to start going tomorrow. We need to elevate the competition at various spots on the team, and that's what this game's about. And we're very transparent with everybody, all the QBs on the roster, what we're bringing in Jared, and this is a level of football where if you're scared of competition, you're probably not supposed to be here anyway. So we got to play the best guy and win the most games, and that is the name of the game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Big Bear.
All right, Coach. Next question is going to be Theo Lawson, Spokesman Review. Go ahead, Theo.
Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Good, Theo.
What do you think will be the biggest overall benefit of having a full spring slate this year after obviously losing out on it last year? And how do you think it'll help your program?
Well, we try to break it down into a fefew goals. I guess what I told the team is one of the main goals is when we finish spring that there's a confidence level in the scheme and each other, in your teammates, that we want them to leave for the summer with. So much in the summer is determined on player-driven stuff, right? And just a competency within the schemes, and a trust and belief and relationship between the teammates. I also try, which has been a little bit hard with everyone with the situation the world's dealing with, is I'd like them to start to get to know other players on the team even better. And there's not a terrible amount of opportunities at this point with COVID, but within the practice, within the weights, the weight groups aren't entirely the whole team at once. So there's guys who don't spend a lot of time with other position groups or other guys. And I think spring is a time where you can get some of that done also.
What's the plan for the quarterbacks going into camp, and how will you kind of divide the reps initially? Is it going to be kind of like fall camp where all of them kind of get a chance initially, and then maybe you divide it or split it to 2 or 3 guys after that?
Yeah, we like to do production-based stuff. Just want to make sure everyone gets a good amount of reps. I think there will be a lot of throws spread out throughout the guys who are playing and are practicing, and we'll start at one place with the reps. But with the amount of people we have because of seniors coming back, it's a good number for spring ball. So you can do multiple huddles. You can do, we've got plenty of space where you can have 2 groups going. I don't think there will be any complaints about opportunity from any position the way we got it lined out now. But and I think that will change. That will change as we go every practice in spring ball. We got to make use of all 15 of them, but also be somewhat production based and transparent with everyone in each position group.
Is Jaden going to be at practice with you guys tomorrow? Is his suspension still active?
No, he's not.
How has he kind of responded to that whole situation as far as growing from it and kind of doing the things you want him to do?
I would say incredibly. It's not something that him or he is proud of the incident. It's not something the program stands for. But what I told him is how he deals with this could define the rest of his career, and I'm incredibly proud of his approach, and taking the punishment, growing and maturing as a young man, and that's part of the job at this level. And so far I'm pleased with his growth as a young man in a lot of areas.
All right, other questions for Coach Rolovich? Just raise your hand and we'll call on you. All right, Coach, next one's from Zach Armstrong, Coug fan. Go ahead, Zach.
Coach, how's it going?
Good, Zach. You sound like Tron. You ever seen that movie Tron? No, I guess not. Are you there, Zach?
I think we lost Zach.
Well, sounded like we were losing Zach.
All right, other questions for Coach Rolovich? Again, if you have a question for Coach Rolovich, just raise your hand. We'll call on you and we'll talk about spring ball. There he is. Keith Oso. Go ahead, Keith.
Hey, Coach, last year you had to deal with, well, I didn't have to deal with, everybody had to deal with, COVID and people being hesitant to play football in that situation, some people opting to not play. Are you still seeing some of that, or is it pretty much full squad ready to go?
I think, are you talking about opt-outs and things like that?
Yeah, or just is the hesitation that may have been there for some players, is that lessened, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Well, I expect everybody on the roster to be there tomorrow, and I don't have any reason to expect someone not to be there for that reason. I would hope we'd come to a level of trust with this team that if there was an issue, they would have brought it up before today. But I guess you never know. But I don't anticipate that. They've all been working. They've all been, and nothing in that arena that would lead me to believe that somebody is not going to be there tomorrow. No. So I guess the answer is, well, it depends. I guess how you ask the question, which I forget now, but I expect everybody to be there. That's healthy.
You mentioned the numbers difference, and it's going to get more so in the fall, just with the people being able to stay back for another year. Just how does that change your preparation when you have so many extra bodies around than you're used to having?
Well, you have a lot of bodies to manage in the first place in a normal year, but I think it really comes down to is the player, if we are going to go over the traditional number, is the player, does he bring discipline? Does he bring value to the team? What is his character? Because more people can add more problems. But I also like the ability to, you shouldn't have a scarcity of scout players, young players developing. I mean, a lot of contributors, or not a lot bigger pool, but a bigger pool of contributors on special teams, and all those things. And plus, you get, I'm assuming we're going to get the 4-game freshman redshirt rule, or just 4-game redshirt rule going, and so there's a little bit more calculating, but that's more of a fall decision.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Big Bear.
All right, Coach, next question, Theo Lawson. Go ahead, Theo.
Now that Jared's been in the program for a few months, what's kind of your sense of how he's assimilated into the locker room and kind of grown with the players that were already there?
Work ethic has been strong. I think he came here for a reason. And maybe, you can ask him when it's his time to be up here at some point in spring ball, but seems to be very grateful, seems to be content is probably not the right word, but very pleased with the decision he made, whether it's what we teach, how we treat players, those types of things. I've got a couple gratitude texts from him in the last couple of months that, you know, show not just maturity, but appreciation for what Washington State stands for, what this program has afforded him so far, and I think he's excited to get going tomorrow.
Where do you think you'll have maybe the most depth to open spring camp? And on the
Say
flip
it
side,
again, you're kind of breaking up.
oh, sorry. Where do you kind of think you have the most depth right now? And then on the flip side, where do you hope to develop some over the next 15 practices?
I think we always got to continue to develop the O-line. You know, that's definitely a place, both lines of scrimmage, to be honest. Numbers wise, we've got a lot of numbers in the D tackle room, so we're going to need to have some contributions coming out of that room. We need to continue to build depth in the DB realm, I would think. I think the running back room is got some ability for sure. Yeah, I guess you'd like to continue to develop depth everywhere. I don't know if there's a position that's terribly out of whack, but you know, always looking to improve it.
I'm sorry, one more about Jaden Delore. Do you expect him to practice at all in spring camp, or will that kind of just be determined as camp goes? And have you already made that decision?
I think in my head I have, but I'm anticipating continue to monitor that as we go through the month.
Thank you.
All right, other questions for Coach Rolovich? Please just raise your hand and we'll call on you. Any other questions for Coach Rolo?
Anything you guys want to talk about?
Coach, what do you want to see out of your Cougar defense and Coach Dickert?
Who's that? You asking that?
Yeah.
You didn't raise your hand.
Yeah, I did.
Excited for, I think some decisions had to be made as far as installation timing, what we needed to put in for the fall. I'm excited for Jake and the defense to kind of go through a traditional installation of the complete defense. I think there's an incredible work ethic and an incredible desire to be a contributing factor to this program on the defensive side of the ball. You know, came up an offensive coach. It's been an offensive program for a while now, and not that that's a chip on their shoulder on defense, but I think they want to be a major reason why we win football games. And they work very hard as a unit, top to bottom, coaches, players, I've enjoyed watching. I thought they were okay in the fall, but I've enjoyed the defense coming together over the winter workouts. Seeing growth there, seeing them, you know, understanding that they are accountable to each other. I mean, there's a lot of positive personal quality things happening on the defensive side of the ball. We know we need to be better on all three sides of the ball, but you know, at this point right now, we are a 1-3 football team that had elements of selfishness, and when things got hard, we didn't want to fight back, and that is going to be, and I've said that to them, so you know, that is going to be something we need to shed to win more football games. I think we need to get the unselfish players, and I think we maybe, you know, when things are good, it's always easy to be a front runner, but when things are hard, are we going to hang together and we can inspire each other to be better and just keep fighting? And that's my biggest question mark as we get through spring or go and enter into spring.